Basic context setting. I'm a BTech undergrad. I'll get my degree in 1 month, but I've been working in marketing for 3 years. Or I never go the route of doing all this hard work and I'll do this also, I'll do this also, I'll do this. Also. I'll find some shortcut, and this is why exactly I'm here today because I get 75% of my work on an everyday basis done by ChatGPT, and it also cuts down everything that I have to do. It helps me sleep for 8+ hours. It helps me go to the gym, things like that, right? Like I have time for myself because of this. So this is exactly what I'm sharing today also. And just basic context setting is that obviously ChatGPT can do all of your work, but you'll have to in the end put your head to it. Like एक बार पढ़ना पड़ेगा. So that's like basic. अगर आप करवा भी लो तो एक बार पढ़ लेना है end में. And then on top of that, just sort of like use it as diligently as possible because you might get banned for doing like shitty stuff with it. Like I was just like going through one account and did this I was trying to train AI to become like mean and stuff. They banned me. So ये सब मत करना. काम का काम सब करवा लेना, and that's about it. So what I've done is I've sort of like put examples of my work from ChatGPT into like a quick thing. I don't know, but I will just share my screen and let you sort of like decide. Like I mentioned, everything end to end from ChatGPT, everything in marketing end to end from ChatGPT. Starting off with SEO briefs, right? So I sort of like believe in the fact that everything is just prompt engineering. अब सही से बस उसको बता दो क्या करना है, and then they will do it, right? It's like an intern that you don't have to pay, and they will literally take all of your inputs like properly, like they will listen. And so I gave it like a basic sort of like prompt here where I was like, ये brand है, ये vision, brand mission, सब कुछ है. This is the exact sort of like brief that I got from my freelance sort of like boss or whatever, right? He sent me this, ये है, and then he wanted like SEO briefs out of it. So I was like, this is like the thing, and I want to build SEO briefs with this thing, right? You want your idea, you want your titles, you want your subheadings, everything like that. Everything I put together in that. And he was like, okay, let's get started. But then I stopped it in the middle. I was like, wait, do this in a table format. It obviously looks neater. ChatGPT can do it faster. I just have to copy the table from there and put it in a Google Doc and send it their way, right? And then it did that for me, right? Now every time that you feel like कि नहीं आपके हिसाब से नहीं हो रहा है, if you want something changed, stop that response right there and tell your feedback, and it'll just do it all over again, right? That's the basic thing. And obviously it comes down to prompt engineering, like I said. So like just उसको बोल दो बस क्या चाहिए, right? If you put half of your thoughts into it, obviously it's not going to come out nice. If you put everything that, okay, I want title also, I want subheadings also, I want questions to be answered, I want keywords, I want keyword density, everything, and it just gives that in a format, right? Next up, I did the same thing with like a beauty based brand also, and it worked like wonders. Over here, I didn't want a table because it would have been too much for like the person I was working for, so I sort of like engineered that in a different way. I didn't say make a table mein bana ke do, right? So yeah, same thing here also. Idea, title, options, outline for the article, sab kuch like A to Z does it for you, and then it just gives it to you, and you can just copy paste it directly. Yes, Saurabh.
Anand, आपने ये जो this brief, right? If you look at the brief, it has a lot of part about Alchemy Labs as a business, and then
Yeah.
your query at the end of it, right? I want to build SEO briefs with da da da, and then you're saying, can you do this for da da da? So I'm saying the first part, what you type here, did you have access to that already from a different document, or you actually wrote that as well?
No,
Just want
no.
to understand that.
So this is like a freelance project, like something. This is also a freelance project, right? ये brief आता है मेरे पास कि ये brand है, ठीक है? उन्होंने अपना वेबसाइट का मेरे को लिंक भेज दिया था, उसकी वेबसाइट पे ये लिंक, ये पूरा डिस्क्रिप्शन है उनके बारे में. मैंने उनकी वेबसाइट पे गई, I picked up their about us section, copy pasted, and just put my prompt in along with that. It was as simple as that, right? Yeah. So that. Chani.
Yeah, just wanted to share. I did a similar thing. So I was looking for competitors for a construction company. So ChatGPT gave me very generic ones. Then I put हमारे like company का link and told इसका देख के बताओ. And it was like I can't peep into a website. So I just copied the very long about us
Yeah.
right as text and then put it. And then it gave me really specific results. So I think it's a similar thing that Mannat's done here. Even if you copy like information directly from website, it helps you out.
Yeah, obviously it can't look into websites for you. It can't do that security breach जो उसके वो बोलता है. तो आप उठा के दे दो उसको फिर give them the information, and then it will just generate responses for you. Okay. Content calendars. We dread making them. I'm never going to make one by myself again. Right? This was for a healthcare brand. Again, I gave it like a vision, brand mission, sab kuch. and then बोल दिया कि ये करके दे दो. उसने ढंग से नहीं बना के दिया first 2 tries में. I was like no, I want like this. So I said like I want a strategy, 2 months, day by day. I want to post 4 days in a week, everything. I did that, and then I got all of it. Like, I am not going to spend making time content, because like if you're making content calendars, you have to go see pehle kaun sa day pe hai, put that together in a sheet, right? Then find the relevant days for yourself. Then create content for the rest of the days. That is so extensive. It takes 2 days to do it. No, this will just do it like a chop 15 minutes task, right? And obviously you can bill your hours then later, but like your work just becomes easier. So yeah, did everything for me, including caption, visual brief, copy, and everything. Hashtags भी करवा लिए थे मैंने बाद में हर post के लिए. But yeah, like I said, prompt engineering, उसको बस बोल दो क्या चाहिए and it will just do the job for you. Okay. Now in the end, like I'll just like if anyone wants like specific prompts also, I'll like copy paste and send from my ChatGPT. That's not a problem. But like everyone who's looking like this right now, just like chill and like see. Okay, email marketing. This is for the same brand, Alchemy. I gave their description. उसके बाद end में लिख दिया draft a fun promotional email copy to promote this as an email marketing campaign for Mother's Day. 25% off we can give, and it created that copy for me. Obviously, I sort of like gave tweaks बाद में कि ये बहुत लंबा है, make this shorter, make this fun, make this more quirky, include more elements which are relatable. All that's like keywords and adjectives you have to put in, but otherwise like one sort of like click job. Also, this email worked out pretty good. Like, just by the way, like great, like open rate. Yeah, these are website concept notes, which is for a SaaS website. मैंने ये बोला मतलब एक SaaS tool है which helps you manage your social media seamlessly and everything. This is also a description from their website only. And I started to develop it. I was like, wait, stop. Do this in the form of a table. Everyone loves tables. Everyone wants to see everything organized, right? So it did it in a table format with key components, optimized suggestions, and goals. वो headers मैंने दिए थे, obviously, like it wouldn't just do them by themselves. I was like, ये डाल दो, and then just make a table. So it did that. Outside of that, writing simple emails, obviously, like you should not be spending like 15, 20, 25 minutes, whatever, just like writing these emails. I wanted to leave, उसको बोल दिया, wrote that email, copy pasted and sent it, things like that. I also got my resignation written from this, but by the way, like the last time I sent it, like pretty good. And okay, this is building databases, which is super fun. I did not have to spend more than 30 minutes on this, and it gave me a database of 100 journalists in the sex tech and femtech industry. Right now, basically, how I did this was collate a list of 50 journalists, this, with their name. ये सब headings दे दिया कि ये करना है. और उसने बोला, I can't provide you 50 journalists. I was like, ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. I was like, why can't you do it? Tell me your problem. I was like, then he's like, I can't, table format would require me to access blah blah blah. I was like, bro, compile 10. 10 करके 5 बार मैं कर सकती हूँ. So it compiled 10 for me in that next response. उसके next response में did 10 and then it did 10. And I've personally tested out each and every of these emails because I've sent them emails for PR and they work. Their Twitter handles work. The name and publication are still intact. Everything matches on LinkedIn, everything matches on Twitter. So yeah, this is how this works. The idea here is that if it says that it can't do it, ask them why they can't do it. And then reverse psychology play with them. ठीक है, आप 50 नहीं कर सकते, do 10. It's as simple as that. Anyone wants to ask me anything here so far?
No questions from my side.
Okay, cool. I'll move on to the next one then. Yeah, so we all obviously do a lot of Zoom meetings and sort of important client meetings on Gmeet and things like that, right? अब हम AI से recorder से we can record all the text, right? But who's gonna like sort of like put them together properly? Minutes of the meeting कौन बनाएगा, anything like that? So I just copy paste all of that voice recorded text, put it together in this. कि मुझे ये बात हुई थी मेरी LinkedIn के rep से, इसको please properly like put it together, and then I get like sort of like formulated everything. So that makes things obviously super easier. Obviously, you're gonna have to send minutes of the meeting after each meeting. This just makes it just like simple, straightforward. If you're using Zoom, just use a voice recorder. आपके पास text आ जाएगा end में, उसके 5 मिनट में ये खत्म करके you can send the minutes of the meeting in 10 minutes. It's as simple as that. Um, yeah. So like other basic so email. Someone asked me. I was working with a client, and they were like, "What are the different fonts that we can explore?" And I was like, "Okay, sure." So like I just went to ChatGPT. I was like, "What are some professional fonts that can be used for an investing RIA firm?" It gave me a list, and I was like, "Acha, theek hai. Can you form this into an email and also just like a little better forms that don't include like the basic ones like Arial and Times New Roman?" And it did that, and that's the exact email that I copy pasted. On the same hand, I wanted a format I can send my minutes of the meeting in, and I had ChatGPT generate that as well. Super cool copywriting. Okay, so I finished watching the Bridgerton spin-off last weekend, and as the company that I'm working with, they were like, "Acha, theek hai, let's like do this post is related," and ऐसे करके I was like, "ठीक है, हाँ, cool." Now, even if I watched it last weekend, I cannot write copy again until and unless I watch it side by side. It's as simple as that. It's extensive shows, everything like that, right? So you simply just go tell ChatGPT that I want Instagram copy, which are quirky, fun, relatable, and at the same time, promote this brand, and then the brand description, and then it gives you copy. Now this is a funny one where I was creating like race day invites for Formula One, and I had to send it to a couple of friends. So I was just like, bro, like give me like nice, funny, and quirky race day screening invite headers for Formula One, and then it like sort of like collated a list for me. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Like some of them, like there's like get ready to watch men drive in circles for like 2 hours or something. So like, it's really fun, and you can sort of like tailor it according to your needs. So you need to like tell them if it needs to be funny, tell them if it needs to be quirky, tell them if it needs to be relatable, tell them if it needs to be professional, bold. Give them those adjectives that associate with the brand, and then it'll make your job 100 times easier instead of like just like doing generic ones with ChatGPT. Yeah, so I also like do all this because I'm also 22 at the same time. So I go broke for half of the month. So I just like do all this random stuff with it. Works like pretty cool. Um, productivity schedules that actually work. This is something that I've sort of like developed for myself. This is more like a personal level, not like a work sort of thing. But I gave it like ठीक है. I work 10 hours a day. 8 घंटे में सोती हूँ. मेरे को वर्कआउट भी करना है. मुझे खाना भी खाना है. मुझे लंच ब्रेक चाहिए लंबी लंबी. What can my schedule look like? Then if you're giving me recipes, if you're telling me what meals to eat, give me recipes also for that. और रेसिपी बनाने के लिए ग्रोसरी लिस्ट भी बना दो. Then if I'm doing the workout, sync that according to my menstrual cycle because I don't want to be doing heavy lifting HIIT workouts during my period. Everything. And then I tell them my age, my height, and my weight. That's like it does the job for me, right? So this is just some random like stuff I just keep doing with it because I like to experiment with it. Like I mentioned earlier, also throws my aadha ghanta. Like I just do some sort of like bakwas with it. So this is from today, where I was like, "Can you write a pitch about something trying to sell a digital marketing service?" But they think that digital marketing is futile only. So it sort of like wrote a satire thing there. Um, Write a Mahabharata verse in the style of original Mahabharata, explaining how to deal with clients and stay happy in life, but in biblical verse English. So just random stuff. Now a lot like since C4E is like a digital marketing agency and like it has so many different aspects. These kind of things also can help. Um, उसके बाद I'm also part of like a couple of advanced math sort of like forums online. So I have to like sometimes and I get paid for it. So sometimes solve problems. But who wants to type all this? Like stepwise भी करो, उसके अंदर ये भी करो, equation भी डालो, all that stuff, right? So I just make ChatGPT do it and like earn the money. This is like a side hustle for everybody. Go sign up on Chat. And then yeah, so that's about it. That's all of the random stuff I do with it. Obviously, there's so much more. I make it write blogs. I make it write social media copy. I make it do newsletters. Email marketing, to मैंने बताया. Just everything on the marketing spectrum can be done by this. I remember we did an event and I had to like do like taglines and we had to put like posters behind the entire sort of like boost that we had. ChatGPT did that. Um, Instagram captions, ChatGPT, hashtags, ChatGPT, everything that you can imagine, just out of here. Yeah, I'm gonna stop speaking now. Yeah, Chandni.
I have more like a mindset question, okay? Like a mental sort of journey that you go through, right? Um, how do you, for example, if you've been doing this for a month, right? How do you make sure that you're losing your capability or the ability to make sure that this is not as per the mark, right? Matlab, when you're khud se coming up with ideas, right, from scratch, you keep increasing your, how do you say, let me articulate this better. For example, if I'm doing this, if this didn't exist, then I get better with each copy, with each creative idea that I get. When you just do ChatGPT for a month, right? As in, it always gives you the base and then you build on it. How do you make sure to not lose that ability to test it, or for your standard to go low, for example, right? Like you lose track of. Do you understand what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah. So imposter syndrome, like you feeling like, हाँ,
हाँ,
got it.
kind of, yeah.
हमें बेसिक इतना पता है कि अगर ब्लिंकिट ऐसा कॉपी डालेगा तो वो नहीं चलेगा, ऐसा कॉपी डालेगा तो चलेगा, है ना?
हाँ,
We always have that notion because we're a consumer ourselves, right?
correct.
We're gonna be sort of consuming these blogs that we're writing. Marketing का यही end goal है. Audience will consume your sort of like whatever you're doing. Content marketing करो, event marketing करो, कुछ भी करो. If your audience will consume whatever you're sort of like delivering here. Think from that perspective. अगर मैं एक मतलब if I'm like ठीक है blog लिख के आ गया, I am reading it as a consumer. मैं ये
Yeah,
पढ़ूंगी नहीं, मेरे को नहीं अच्छा लगता, I make it right again, right? What has to be tweaked, what would I like as the, like better as an audience and things like that, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
small things that you have to always keep in mind. Now on like obviously everything like I said 75% of the work can be done with chat gpt, not like the entirety of it, right?
yeah, yeah,
That the जो बाकी का 25% बचता है actually sort of like builds your capabilities and your possibilities, right?
correct,
That actually shows how smart you are. Now
correct, yeah,
even when you do work with like chat gpt, अब इससे करो कितना करवा लोगे and everything like that, right? But
yeah.
prompt engineering के लिए भी तो दिमाग लगेगा ना, that's where your
हाँ,
growth happens, right?
correct, definitely.
आपने देख लिया टेबल बन के आया, not up to the mark, you don't think it's up to the mark, it's not up to the levels that you sort of like deliver to your clients and things like
Yeah,
that, make it do it again. It's like your intern and you're on a managerial level, that's it. Like
correct.
it's not you losing your
Yeah,
capabilities.
yeah, yeah, correct, yeah, got it. That's helpful. Aditi
Yeah.
and the hands raised.
Yeah, so first of all, I'm sorry, I'm very low energy today, but like I got very excited seeing the topic because like I have also been using ChatGPT very, very intensively. And when you start, like, I just have a few things. So, first of all, because you talked about how relevant and how important prompt engineering is for anyone and everyone who wants to get into the basics of want to learn the basics of prompt engineering and you have time, there's
You just went on mute.
Basics of
hello.
engineering के बाद you went on mute.
Yeah.
I have just sent a link in the chat box, and it's a free course on prompt engineering. I think it's a short course. You all can go through it if you want. And like amazing growth session. And maybe like some other day, I will also open my chat GPT ka query wala list and show. I use it a lot for my academic use. So I use it a lot to help me during exams. So maybe if the SOG Janta wants help with that, maybe we can do something on that tangent. But one question that I have from you is, Mannat, are you using GPT ka Pro version or is the normal version working just fine for you?
It's the normal version. I'm very inclined towards getting the plus version because it's a bit faster in
Yes.
responding and things like that. Also, it's like $12. Makes sense for me a lot right now because, like I said, like most of my work comes out of it, right? But Chat GPT free version works like a miracle. I am using the free version only for the past 3+ months now, and it's been working wonders. इतना कोई necessity नहीं है कि आप मतलब upgrade करो ये करो वो करो. No, like that's not required. But eventually, like if you want to move like a faster pace or like entirety of like C4E wants to get one sort of like subscription and everyone uses it, that also makes sense.
Yeah,
Uh,
correct.
yeah, so for that, one more thing, as Rohit also said in the chat, like if anyone wants to try ChatGPT free for free, you can go and try using Bing. I have used it. I
Hmm.
personally don't like the UI too much, so I just stick to the
Bro,
main
I'm very
ChatGPT.
Same.
like Google search engine loyal girl. That's why I've not been able to try that. Plus, like when
Eh,
I said ChatGPT free version has worked well. मतलब जितना थोड़ा बहुत मैंने शुरू किया करना. Yeah,
I also wanted to say something about prompt engineering. Like I understand like course and everything, but like just to get started until like we don't find the time to do that, explain things to ChatGPT like you would do to a person who's just passed 12th grade and is interning with you. As simple as that. आपको कुछ काम चाहिए, like you tell them, okay, I want a sheet with this column. Tell that exactly to ChatGPT, and then it's as straightforward as that. It's just you speaking in layman terms, so that the second person understands.
Yeah, yeah.
I read one of your recent tweets, like where you said that ChatGPT or AI in general is only going to take work from the non-smart ones, or like do the mediocre level of work, and we are supposed to not just stop at the mediocrity. I think
Um, Almost there, almost there. Push this thought a little more. Anybody wants to push this thought a little more?
It's also like being not grateful to your own person, like you got the work from, by not delivering your output, your input much, something on those वैसा. Like because they wanted
नहीं
you.
नहीं नहीं नहीं. Okay, I'll give you an example of a story. So there is this I forget the name of this theory, but there is this conspiracy theory that says that in future, no, what will happen is there'll be two kinds of humans alive. आज से 5,000 साल के बाद, like after 1,000 years. One set of people will be extremely fair, good looking, great shape, body shape, tall, etc., etc. And on the other side, they'll be really, really dark, ugly. Sorry for body shaming. I am dark and ugly, obviously, but there'll be people on the other side as well, and there'll not be any middle ground. Either you'll have really cute people or you have really really ugly people. Anybody wants to take a shot? How and why that will happen?
I won't because you've told me this already. So be quiet for a bit.
Okay. Anybody else? Do you want to ask ChatGPT live? What I just said. Anybody wants to give a shot?
Can I relate it to ChatGPT and say no?
no. I
Why
think
do I hate
again.
ChatGPT and
No,
this
I
topic?
can relate that what you said. Like with skills also, right? Like दो kind of लोग बचेंगे. या तो तुम सीख लोगे पूरा, मतलब या तो you'll be in that top 1% or whatever, or you'll miss out, like or you'll die out in the crowd because and in the middle nothing will be there. Like somebody won't come to you because you can do average work. Like there will be people who can use their
Yeah,
own brain.
but how does it? No, but how does it apply to us? I mean, each person in this call, each person, okay, barring there is zero exception. Each person in this call has been handpicked and is special and is smart and is, like the top 1%, if not top 0.1 percentile, definitely the top 1 percentile of the human population in India. At least I know of, right? Everybody, including Mannat. I mean, she's not part of C4E per se, but she's also been chosen and she's also been invited and she's also uh, here, right, for a reason. Not everybody gets to be on this table. So why would I hate it? So I'll give an answer. Sorry, I'm in a lot of traffic, so I'll give the answer. I'll just park myself on the side. So first things first, why do I think the world will evolve into two different tribes, one of super gorgeous people and one of super ugly people? What will happen is that look at your own life, right? Each of us, if I remove all the societal and cultural conversations, each of us wants to get married to or live with or create offspring with a person which is better looking, healthier, etc., etc. So imagine this as evolution and multiply this by thousands of years. So what will happen is only white people will get marry each other, and their genes will be nice. Imagine how we say even today, right? That you have great genes, that you have great hair and good height, and all the physical bodily structures. Now imagine all the good-looking people get married to each other. All the bad-looking people are left to be married to each other because no good-looking people are talking to them. And with that, as a multiplication of 5,000 years, the world will get divided into two different parts of A, gorgeous people, B, non-gorgeous people. Is this clear in terms of evolution? Do all of you understand what I'm talking about? Do I need to clear? I mean, this may or may not happen, but this is what a conspiracy theorist says. Any doubts? Any doubts on this? Any further question on this one? Cool. I mean, I can't see the screen. I'm assuming it's all okay. So coming back,
Yeah, yeah, all
so
okay.
now So coming back on ChatGPT, why I hate this is because of two things. Um, Actually, more, not two, not just two. I'll talk about those. So, A, each of you is an extremely smart individual. You've been handpicked by all of us to be part of this conversation. Now, my problem with ChatGPT is that ChatGPT inherently stops you from becoming smarter by the day. Just think about this for a few minutes. I mean, how do you get smart? I mean, how is Rocky or how is Rambo such a cool person that he can escape out of any situation? He can do that because he's been thrown into the deep end of the pool, into trouble a million times, and each time he's been able to get out of that. And while he was getting out of that trouble, he's built a thick skin. He's built a toolkit. He's built a gut feeling that otherwise he will never build. I mean, a gut feel will never be built in a safe haven. The gut feel could only be built when he was facing danger. I mean, he saw a tiger first. He may have thought tiger as a cute thing and he could have gone to pet it. But what if the tiger was a fucking tiger who's going to like bite him off, right? So now every time he faced a tiger, he knew and he learned that skill and he learned that thing कि यार tiger से दूर रहना है मेरे को. Now imagine ChatGPT. All of you are smart people, and if I give a task to say a Kaushik or a Chandni or a Sarah or even a Mannat for that matter, I know Mannat is smart as fuck. But moment she starts to rely on ChatGPT even for basic things, what happens is that, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, that's why I hate it. What happens is that she stops using her natural instincts. Her instinct is, hey, you know what? I have a shorter way of doing this. Let me do it and then get out of it. But by taking the shortcut, what she's doing is she's not allowing her cognitive abilities to face the load and grow and develop and build an instinct. Today, Manat said a great thing, right? That, moment you see a notification from Blinkit, you know if consumer will like that or not. Why does she know that? Because she's seen 1,000 notifications from 1,000 apps like Blinkit, and she inherently has a taste. This taste and this awareness grew because Mannat was consuming so many content pieces, and she was discussing that with people. And while she was writing or working on it, she was thinking about it. कि यार, ये post अच्छा क्यों नहीं है? मतलब not consciously but subconsciously. Moment you get down to a tool level, you become a slave of the tool. I'll give an example. Google Maps. All of you are very, very young people, apart from me. If I told you that you cannot use Google Maps and I want you to go from your house to your office, most of you will be able to still find a way because you go that route every day. But if I told you that you have to go to a new city and you don't have Google Maps, how many of you will be able to navigate that city? Is a question that I want to ask you. Imagine that, but in the world of intelligence and conversation and work and marketing, how many of you will be able to use your instincts to navigate the world of marketing without a chat GPT kind of a tool if you over rely on that? So that's my um, thought. And any perspective thoughts on this? Do you think I'm just ranting like an old man, or do I have merit in this conversation?
Okay, definitely merit here, right? Like I mentioned, if you're gonna rely on it every day of for each of your tasks, right? It's not gonna make sense, right? It's as simple as that you're making someone else do your work, but you're not getting anything out of it. You might have reached a certain standpoint in your life where you're like, getting all the projects that you have all the clients that you have, you're working with this great company, but then what 5 years later? Or do you want to be at the same standpoint with working with the same sort of like tool, and that's it, right? So that's the thing that comes into play, right? If you're here today and you're doing this work with this and this, you also have to make sure that you're sort of like giving yourself as much as food for thought as possible in terms to like grow by that percentage that you have year on year, right? Now it's not like, oh, this is like a company, so we have to show like 150% growth year on year. No, like it's not like that. It's that you are sort of like consuming the right sort of content. You are putting your abilities to test. You're sort of like doing that cognitive development for yourself, right? And that all that obviously comes through a lot of different things. It's not just work, right? It's a lot of people. It's a lot of talking to people. It's a lot of networking. It's a lot of, okay, I did this and this and this and this, things like that, right? When we're in marketing, we're also doing things like, ओके हम ये इवेंट कर रहे हैं, वहां पे तो चैट जीपीटी को कुछ नहीं करना पड़ेगा, आपको अपना दिमाग यूज करना ही पड़ेगा, राइट? 5 years down the line, like something like COVID doesn't happen, you're gonna have to like sort of like be in person places. But if you're gonna get so dependent on a tool like this, if you're gonna get, I'm not saying you should not be dependent. Obviously, you can do all the like rut work, all the grunt work for you. All those things are completely fine. But it's just that you also have to sort of like develop yourself, if not through this, then through something else, right? And that can be through anything. You can sort of like take up a new thing just by yourself. Like let's say you've finished your work 5 hours may and you still have like 3 left out of your working day. Put that towards something else, right? And if you can learn a new skill. Right now you're in marketing in a certain segment. Let's say you do SEO and blogs. Why don't you learn the ins and outs and become a social media master? That's how you grow, and that's how like your skill grows. That's how you get better opportunities moving forward. That's how you make more money. That's how you're sort of like able to sort of like grow year on. Yeah.
I
Okay,
want to
anybody
add
wants to add?
Yeah, I want to add to that. I also read Paul Graham say this, right? What similar to what Saurabh was saying. When you reach a point in life that अगर चैट जीपीटी 2 दिन के लिए डिसरप्ट हो गया तुम्हारा दिमाग ही नहीं चलेगा तब राइट you
Yeah.
cannot reach a point where like for example writing essentially makes you think matlab it is that process of articulating what's in your head into words turning it into something that makes sense to somebody else adding that context that whole process of how writing makes you think is what you can't lose right like you can't lose sort of what you talk about too right articulation you can't lose that because when you're in a conversation you can't rely on AI then you're talking right like you're using your head so I think it's that balance. For example, I would probably decide which project doesn't need my creative brain completely, my complete attention. And it won't help me grow, right? If there is a no-brainer thing I have to do for whatever reason, then I could probably rely on this and get it done and then use my brain. If there's another thing that I know will push me to my ability, like push me to think harder, I'll probably do my bit of exercise and then go to a tool like that to add to it or whatever, right? So I think very mindful but this thing that what I read that you cannot lose your ability to think from the ground up think and articulate things is is very important like तुमने वो छोड़ दिया ना तो you'll become like you'll stagnate at some point like you'll
Yeah.
lose right like creativity will die out you lose that ability but that's what this made me think about yeah
I
Channi,
just
quick
want to add
answer. Sorry, Mannat, एक minute. Sorry, मैं एक minute दो आप. Channi, quick answer. I don't agree. Remind me to ask you why I don't agree with you because I'll forget. Because Aditi का hat दिख रहा है मुझे and Mannat also speaks. Mannat बोल.
ठीक
Yeah, I was just saying that. So let's say you've done like all of those things, right? When you're this is like a small like helpful tip or whatever. Let's say you're working in like you're developing landing pages and you're doing UX copy and you're doing things for like the website front of it, right? There's abundant resources on the internet. So one of my favorite is this website that does landing page teardowns, right? They break down the entire landing page. They भाई वो खोल के रख देते हैं उसको and they tell you what went well, why it went well, why this color worked here, why this worked here, everything end to end. That develops you in that sense of manner. I'm not a UX copywriter, right? But I've just been reading their newsletters month by month, week by week, right? And this is sort of like the color psychology I've developed from there. I've never like opened an article about color psychology. I've read from there. I'll put the link on the in the chat itself, like in the WhatsApp group. But it's so extensive. That's the kind of things that you have to sort of like I think look out for. So that sort of like grow also. This is not like, oh, you're getting your work done from ChatGPT, or if you're not getting your work done from ChatGPT. This is just general, right? Just look for things like this that you think you find interesting and you want to be better in it, right? That'll just again like grow your skill further, make you like a better sort of like professional, and in turn sort of like just get you on like a pathway of growth. So yeah, that's what I wanted to add there.
One quick answer. You're still thinking marketing. Then after 2 years, I tell you, कि bro, एक काम कर, fuck the marketing world, and there is a better opportunity for you to be uh, a sailor. I'm just making it up. I don't know, right? Sailing and marketing are way two different things. And I'll tell you that whatever you make right now, I will give you 20x of that, and you will have your hours and your life and your freedom. Suddenly, sailing becomes a better thing, right? So I'm saying, एक minute के लिए ना, मतलब marketing से ऊपर उठ. And C4E is not. I mean, I because you're new. Why we are a marketing agency, we are anything but marketing. It's not being built as a marketing setup. I'll come to that also. I know what to answer to as. Sorry if I'm being curt or rude or whatever, blah blah blah. But I'm like trying to walk and I'm like losing my breath also. Old man problems. Aditi, you will.
I think like I am very young. I'm just 19 right now. So I try to like learn a lot. जैसे आपने बोला कि like uh, keep learning, keep don't like just stay. So for example, I was talking to Rohit. On another note, I met Rohit. So we were talking, and then we. That's what I was telling him that since like it feels like. Um, ChatGPT can do a lot. How do you think like coders and everyone will be affected? And then Rohit said this one thing that अब शायद 10 डेवलपर हायर नहीं होंगे, एक डेवलपर हायर होगा एक कंपनी में, बट ये भी तो सोचो कि 10 नई कंपनी भी खुल रही हैं, तो जॉब्स कहीं नहीं जा रहे हैं, जस्ट 10 people being hired at one place की जगह 1 person getting hired at 10 different like 10 different places. So like I think that made sense, and I think on another philosophical note, I think personally, I what I do is I don't let ChatGPT come into areas where I know कि अगर मैं यहाँ नहीं सीखूंगी तो it would like affect my learning curve over sometimes. So I don't usually use it for work. Mainly I use it for like my college work. कॉलेज में ग्रंट वर्क होता है बहुत सारा, या फिर जैसे कभी क्लब्स में like there is grunt work like writing 100 emails and just maybe just changing the names and everything. So I use it for that. But I get what Saurabh is saying, and yes, I
Okay,
think
I'll.
it's
Didi, bolo. Sorry, I interrupted. Bolo.
no. I think for us, like at least for me and like people in my college, I've seen is don't rely on ChatGPT or other AIs for that matter in things that affect your learning curve in the long run. Like don't let it affect things that you want to be known for, or you want to be. So if I want to be a writer, I don't want to write maybe per se using ChatGPT a lot. But yeah, that is again my viewpoint, and uh, I'm open to
ठीक है,
different.
cool. I'll give short answer because 5 minutes I have another call. Cool. So A, Aditi and Rohit, jobs तो देखो जा रहे हैं. मतलब sorry, but this argument is deeply flawed at so many levels कि 10 कंपनी खुल रही हैं, 10 कोडर हैं, so jobs तो जा रहे हैं, 100% जा रहे हैं, already जा रहे हैं, and अभी हमें बड़ी कंपनी में दिख रहा है. Mark my words, in 6 months you will see bloodbath across the toll, and especially the tasks that are uh, automatable. For example, customer service is the next industry that will get disrupted because 99% of the queries can be responded by customer service. Content writing is going for sure. There is no reason it will not go. Marketing will get disrupted. So jobs तो जा ही रहे हैं, तो वो तो तुम भूल जाओ. Anyhow, so मेरा question का answer ये था कि why I hate ChatGPT. The answer that I had in my mind, and obviously it's open to debate, discussion, and so on and so forth. Because I am obviously wrong, and I'm also learning, and I'm also evolving my thought. Is a line that I use a lot in my conversations. I am saying the hard skills of today will become soft skills, and the soft skills of today will become hard skills tomorrow. So what I mean by that is that any task that requires hard skills today, writing, coding, designing, painting, cooking, traveling, driving, these are all hard skills. All of them will become soft skills of tomorrow. What that means is that there will be tools like ChatGPT or auto driver in cars, or human vision, what Sandra is doing. All of that will happen in our lifetimes in the next 5 years. But what will start emerging is the ability of people to have great soft skills. So what that means is that people who can speak well, people who are articulate, people who have empathy, people who understand other people at a core level, people that know psychology, people that know consumer behavior, people that know neurology, and like I keep telling this to my people, right? I mean, all of you, that I meet you for 10 minutes and I exactly know who you are, what drives you. I'm saying my punt is that in the next 10 years, that skill of being able to see through people or identify people and have great soft skills will become the hard skill of tomorrow. And the corollary to this, or the addition to this, is that if I am big on this punt that आज का जो भी hard skill है, मतलब मैं तो बोल रहा हूँ copy writing करो ChatGPT से 100% करो. But what I'm saying and what I'm offering to all of you, and why this session validated what I've been building for the last few whatever months or years or whatever it is that each of you at C4E has this insane opportunity to build your soft skills. I mean, if you realize at C4E, I keep telling you that जो भी काम बाहर से करा सकते हो, बाहर से कराओ. तुम बनो प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर, तुम बनो पीपल पर्सन, तुम बनो लोगों को इंस्पायर करने वाले लोग. मतलब each of us has to use ChatGPT better than Mannat. I mean, if Mannat is, let's say, a 7 on 10 right now on ChatGPT, most of us would probably be at a 5 on 10. I would be a 1 on 10. But I'm going to use ChatGPT to at least come to Mannat's level. I hope all of us do that. I hope all of us can teach Mannat this in the next few weeks also. But what I wanted to offer was, I hate ChatGPT because ChatGPT will do our regular day-to-day dal roti work. Let's use that. But at the same time, use the time that you have available to learn the soft skills. And those soft skills are exactly what I told you about, right?